This video will show you how to improve the performance of your website by adding expires headers to your .htaccess file. So what the heck is expires headers? Well, when set up properly, expires headers tells your visitor's browser whether an item like an image or a CSS file can be stored in the visitor's browser for future access, or if their browser has to get that item directly from the server or the source. Now, just to clarify, when I say it's stored in the visitor's browser, the browser actually downloads those items to the visitor's computer, also referred to as locally. Now, for example, whenever you set an expires header for one of these items like the JPG or a PNG image file, then when the visitor returns to the site or visits a different page on that site, those image file types, along with all the other items that we have set the expires headers for, will load much faster because they are already stored in the visitor's browser, and the browser does not have to go all the way back to the server to get those items because they're pulled up from the visitor's own computer. Now, for this to work, you need to be on an Apache server, which most are these days. Also, if after adding your expires headers code snippet, the tests are not showing the expires headers feature being active, then contact your host and ask if they have the expires headers module activated. And while you got them on the line, ask them which code snippet do they suggest you use, because there's quite a few different code snippets. And I'm going to include a lot of them in a copy and paste format along with this video. Also, it's worth mentioning that sometimes a membership or an e-commerce plugin might not play nice with certain settings within the browser caching or expires headers settings. And if this happens, then just contact the plugin's creator and ask them how to get their plugin to work alongside with the browser caching. Now, first off, I want to go ahead and run a test to see where we are in regards to the browser caching, also known as expires headers. Now, this is the site we're going to be doing the testing on, so we just come on up here and refresh just to show that it is working. Now, we're going to be doing the test on GTmetrix, and we can get there by going to gtmetrix.com, and we just enter the URL here and then click on Analyze. Now, this particular site is going to be doing a test for two different tools, that being Google's PageSpeed Insights and Yahoo's YSlow. You can see they're doing it over here, and these are the two different scores. Now, these two services test for different items, and that's why you've got varying scores for the exact same site. So we scroll down here and see for PageSpeed Insights, leverage browser caching, I've got a mediocre score of 74. That's a C. And if we click on this, it gets a little drop down and it tells us a little bit more about it. And if we hover over the What's This Mean button, you get this pop up here and you can click on the Read More to tell you more about PageSpeed Insights view of leverage browser caching. They give you some suggestions and some code snippets to be using. But right here's what I want to point out. For these items that are on my site, these other ones are external links, so I don't have any control over those. But the items that are actually on my site tell you that the expiration is not specified. That's what we're going to be fixing. Now, if we go to YSlow, you can see here we got a big fat goose egg, 0, hit total F. Click on the link here, and again, this is for expires headers. I guess that's YSlow's version of browser caching, tomato kind of thing. But you can see here that there's a whole lot of different items in here that are external links that I have no control over, but there are a few of them in here that are on my website, that are on my URL, that I may have some control over. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hover over the What's This button, come on down here and click on Read More. And this tells you a little bit more about YSlow and how they interpret expires headers. So what I want to do, I suggest reading this stuff over for additional information, but what I'm going to do is scroll on down here to the bottom and just copy this code into my clipboard. And they tell you all about how to set things up here. But I'm going to log into my cPanel control panel, go to File Manager, and open up my .htaccess file, right click, left click on Code Edit, and then at the very top of the page, it's where I'm going to paste that code. And you can see here the different file types and the time over here on the right. Now, this time is not set in stone. This is just what YSlow suggests. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of additional code snippets you might want to use, and I'm going to include those along with this video for you to kind of check out. But you can always adjust these times, but you don't want to go more than 1 year. That's kind of the maximum you want to mess with. Let's go ahead and save this and come on back to GTmetrix, and let's run that test again. And we're done. And under page speed, it upped our score from a 74C to a B, 87. But whenever you go to YSlow, it's still giving us a goose egg. For some reason, I've noticed that YSlow does not recognize expires headers as far as that code being entered. And it was even the code that I pulled off of their page. But if we open this up and if we look at the items in here, none of those items that used to be on our URL are being shown anymore. All these items are from external links now. So that's just some kind of a glitch in amongst the YSlow testing for some reason. So it is working, obviously. So if you just stick with the code that we went with from YSlow, but if you just use this code here, it will greatly improve the speed in which your site loads in your visitor's browser. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on how to add expires headers to leverage browser caching. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.